Hey guys, Michael here, and today I'll be jumping into a video that I call The Tale of Two Students. Now these two students aren't real people, but instead they're archetypal characters that I've created out of many real attributes that I've seen in hundreds of my students over the last few years. So one student I'll call Kyle, and the other student I'll call Eric. Upon receiving the knowledge that social skills are like every other skill and they can be improved through acquiring knowledge and practice, Kyle reacts by being elated and thrilled that he now knows that there's something that he can do that's within his own power that he can use to rectify his social life. He feels like he was lost in a dark forest, but has finally come and stumbled upon a path out, and he could not be more happy. Eric, upon the other hand, upon learning this knowledge, becomes agitated and starts listing off every reason he can think of why it's not worth it for him or for anyone else in the world to even bother trying to improve their social skills. He recites lines such as anyone as ugly, short, or as poor as him would never have a chance, and it's not worth even trying. And on top of that, everyone else is too stupid, selfish, or self-serving for him even to be interested in becoming friends with anyway. He has a real sour grapes mentality. Eric finds the knowledge that there are actually steps that he could take to solve his current predicament as threatening to his very worldview. Eric does not want to take any personal responsibility. By believing that there's not a single thing that he can do, he does then not have to feel bad about not trying at all. He does not have to put himself into what may initially be uncomfortable situations so that he can grow as a person. Eric wants his crappy social life to be everyone else's fault but his own. Kyle is happy with any initial progress or signs of improvement. He knows that radical change is not necessarily going to occur overnight. The fact that he's seeing some improvement in his interactions excites him, since he knows if he continues to work on himself that there's so much more that he can achieve. Eric wants instantaneous results with little effort. If after 5 minutes of conversation, a random girl isn't falling in love with him, or someone doesn't want to be his friend or do business with him, he views the whole interaction as a waste of time. While Kyle tries to be fully engaged in every interaction as well as enjoy the learning process as a whole, he does not simply treat every interaction as a means to an end. Eric wonders how many more people he needs to talk to before he finally gets what he wants. The people Eric interacts with sense this value-seeking, unauthentic vibe and are turned off by it. Eric never pays attention to or reflects on his interactions and instead simply tries a brute force approach to interacting with people. Kyle responds to light rejections with a laugh, does not take it personally, and does not let it affect his future interactions. Future interactions then go positively and everything enters an uphill spiral. Eric responds to rejection with anger and pain. Feeling emotionally hurt by the rejection, Eric now wants to hurt the other person back. Eric holds on to this negativity and lets it poison all his future interactions, and thus those interactions also go poorly and everything enters a downward spiral. Kyle learns from his mistakes and is never hard on himself. Even after a particularly poor day of interactions, he recognizes that every person is different, and there are many factors other than himself that can influence a person's emotions. Kyle reflects on his interactions and recognizes where he could have improved, as well as what he had no control over. Eric pays no attention to what he may be doing that is impacting his interactions. When things do not go well, he gets super discouraged and angry about the whole situation. Kyle takes the core lessons that I teach him, internalizes them, and then applies them to see massive results. Eric pays a coach money and then thinks there is nothing more required of him to have his problems solved, even in some cases to the extent of not even showing up for the very course that he paid for. Kyle perseveres and Eric gives up. And for every Eric that gives up, there are at least 100 more that didn't even really try from the start. People with Kyle's attitude can sometimes make insane progress super quickly, while the Erics of the world may spend years seeing very little results. I've had clients that have had in 3 days of coaching from me gone from shaking nervous next to a person they're sitting next to and not being able to communicate with them to 3 days later being able to go on a date with a girl that they randomly met sitting across from them on the train. And so if you're like a Kyle and you're looking to improve your social skills, then I recommend you check out my book, which is specifically for dating. And if you're interested in improving your social skills for all situations, then I have an online video course as well as do personal Skype coaching and in-person coaching. And links to all these things can be found in the description below. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, ciao.